Hello and welcome back. My name is V and today we're watching a lore video that I kind of wanted to see a few days ago, but I've been putting it off since I've been waiting to go through the new content of 11.1.7 patch. As I suspected, this patch was going to be in some way, shape, or form related to the Scarlet Crusade lore, and the official World of Warcraft channel has the Scarlet Crusade lore with PlatinumWoW, which is what we're going to watch today. Scarlet Crusade in general and Arathi Highlands, they have a very difficult story that revolves around a lot of, racial conflicts and basically humans showing that they're not perfect when it comes to this, and there is definitely this group that is looking to annihilate pretty much everyone who is not a human. So a little bit of a difficult topic, but overall a good story, because I think it adds another layer to the Alliance. Now, as an Alliance player, since humans are part of the Alliance, that's kind of how I connect to humans. We see that they are not perfect. There's a really dark, sinister side to not Alliance necessarily, but to humans. And through this storyline, you can see that they are very, very far from perfect. What I really enjoyed about the new patch is that it's looking like they've given the Horde a little bit of this spotlight as the good guys, because the Horde ended up actually helping out these refugees, kind of saving them after their homes got trashed. So I really appreciated seeing that. Even though I'm not a Horde player, I think that every Horde player did appreciate, that kind of storyline as well. Now we're going to watch the Scarlet Crusade lore. I'm excited for this.
World of Warcraft is the Scarlet Crusade, an army of fanatical zealots who will smite anyone not a part of their order. But they weren't always like this. In fact, their origins are quite tragic. During the Second War on Azeroth, the elite order of paladins called the Knights of the Silver Hand were formed.
This is all in the books.
Its founding members were Uther, Trallian, Tyrion Fordring, Gavin Rad, and Saidan Dathrohan. During the war, the Knights of the Silver Hand battled the orcs and healed the wounded with their holy magic. And in the end, the Alliance won the Second War. But the Third the Third War is when the Knights of the Silver Hand's faith would truly be tested. During the Third War, the Kingdom of Lordaeron was left in ruin. The Plague of Undeath turned the citizens into shambling scourge, and Prince Arthas Menethil was the spearhead of this necromantic destruction. But it was the Knights of the Silver Hand's duty to bring holy judgment. I mean, they crushed the orcs in the Second War, so surely these undead wouldn't be a problem. Gavin Rad is killed, Uther is killed, Tyrion was kicked out of the Order after the Second War, Trallian chased after the orcs through the Dark Portal after the Second War, so who in the light knows where he is? He's most likely dead. So all that is to say, we kind of just have one founding member of the Knights of the Silver Hand left, Saidan Dathrohan. Or do we? Because during one of Saidan's offensive attacks on Stratholme after the Third War, he was possessed by the Dreadlord Balnazar. The Nathrezim did this so he could manipulate the citizens of Lordaeron into a new, powerful army to protect the Dreadlord. But first, there was an important foe that needed to be slain. The paladin Alexandros Mograine, wielder of the mighty weapon called the Ashbringer, was a dangerous foe. And his faith in the light would make him near impossible to corrupt, so Balnazar needed to find a way to slay him. So what was Balnazar's solution for dealing with the Ashbringer? Well, as Saidan Dathrohan, Balnazar convinced Alexandros' son, Renault, to slay his own father. And in exchange, he would be promoted to commander of the new crusade he was forming. And get a very fashionable and cool bandana.
Cool bandana.
So Renault
the little
uses
WoW
the
dungeon
Ashbringer
sounds.
to slay his own father in an act of pure evil that corrupts the weapon. But keep this betrayal in mind because it's going to haunt Renault later in the video. Now with Alexandros Mograine out of the picture, Balnazar could work on creating his own crusade. You see, as Saidan Dathrohan, he was one of the last beacons of hope for Lordaeron, the only active founding member of the Knights of the Silver Hand left, and he wanted to weaponize that faith the desperate citizens of Lordaeron had in him. He preached to the citizens of Lordaeron the threat of outsiders, human, undead, or otherwise, who could be spreading the plague of undeath, and any who do not fight directly under the banner of his new Scarlet Crusade would be smited with holy fervor. Or is it smitten, or
Smished.
or smoted?
Something.
Look, they need to be destroyed, okay? Some people didn't agree with Saidan's extreme opinions, and generally just thought he was a bit suspicious, and left to go make the Argent Dawn instead. The Argent Dawn is similar to the Crusade, except they only care about fighting the Scourge, not literally everyone else. Meanwhile, in the ruins of Lordaeron, the Lich King lost control of the Forsaken, giving them free will. But do you think the Scarlet Crusade actually cared? Of course not. They're still zombies that eat people and are creating a new plague and control the ruins of Lordaeron, so they need to be purged. But the unfortunate thing for the Scarlet Crusade is that this marks the start of Classic WoW. And from here on out, the Scarlet Crusade is going to get their light-worshipping butts kicked by us, the heroes of Azeroth. In the Scarlet Monastery, heroes fight through the graveyard, library, armory, and cathedral sections of the monastery. But lore-wise, the leaders of the monastery, High Inquisitor Whitemane and Renault Mograine, with his fashionable bandana, don't actually die here. Renault actually dies during a special in-game event when heroes enter the cathedral wielding the corrupted Ashbringer, and the ghost of Alexandros Mograine jumps out of the blade and slays the son that betrayed him.
Oh shoot, really?
Also is not officially dead until the Mist of Pandaria, when the Scarlet Monastery was revamped, and then later in the Legion expansion, the monastery was left in ruin by the Knights of the Ebon Blade, and she was raised as a new member of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, becoming the very thing she swore to destroy.
Horseman?
But let's jump back to Classic WoW. After taking the fight to the Scarlet Monastery, heroes battle the Crusade across the Plaguelands, and heroes also enter the Dungeon of Stratholme and slay Saidan Dathrohan, aka Balnazar. And an uneasy truce is achieved between the Scarlet Crusade and the Argent Dawn when the flying fortress of death called Naxxramas appeared over the eastern Plaguelands. This was the first and probably last time the Crusade achieved an uneasy alliance with outsiders. After the Scourge denizens of Naxxramas were defeated, typically this is where the story would end in Classic WoW. But during the Season of Discovery, heroes must side with Scarlet Crusade rebels who have discovered the true identity of Saidan Dathrohan, aka Balnazar, and mysteriously, he has returned. And heroes must raid the Scarlet Enclave and bring the fight to the Dreadlord Master, pulling the strings of the Crusade. And you'll have to play the Season of Discovery yourself to see what happens next. You see, the lore added in the Season of Discovery is meant to be, well, discovered. But we do know at the start of the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, the Scarlet Enclave is controlled by loyal Crusade members. But this doesn't last for long, as another flying fortress of death looms over the Scarlet Crusade homeland. This time, by the Lich King's loyal Death Knights who burn the city to the ground.
Yeah, that really worked out for them.
A splinter group of the Crusade, called the Scarlet Onslaught, travels to Northrend to dispense more holy justice against the Scourge and any who oppose them, except somehow, someway, another Dreadlord, Mal'Ganis, infiltrates their organization, and that combined with us, the heroes, beating them up, kind of ruins the Scarlet Onslaught's plans. So throughout Warcraft history, the Scarlet Crusade has been defeated over and over again, but even to this day, they still haven't given up.
Yeah.
More recently, the Scarlet Crusade conducted a brutal attack against the Forsaken in Silverpine, and also took control over the city of Gilneas, for a brief moment in time, only for the Gilneans and the Forsaken to team up and take back the city for its original owners.
Actually kind of wild when you think about it.
And perhaps we'll see the Scarlet Crusade return in some capacity in the future. But now, in the Season of Discovery, we can experience their shrouded history in the Scarlet Enclave raid, and the quest line that surrounds it. And who knows what new lore we'll discover and the secrets they keep.
Okay, so what I really love about this is that the Season of Discovery actually gave a little bit of an intro into the Scarlet Crusade story, as now we know, after, playing through the new patch campaign and events, that this was somehow connected. So I think that if you play the Season of Discovery, which unfortunately I didn't get to do this time around, you were rewarded because you were already in this little bit of a Scarlet mood. So as we learned from the video, which is, I think, very important for the context of the entire patch, is that the Scarlet Crusade is kind of like a cockroach of World of Warcraft. They do keep coming back, and I think that it is only natural for them to do so because they have such strong resolve. Whether they were somehow manipulated or bewitched or whatever you want to call it by the demons and the dreadlords, they still have their resolve, and I think that regardless of whether their cause is just or right or isn't, there's always going to be people with such strong resolution who are going to pass this kind of resolution on to the others. So I do think that we're never realistically going to get ourselves rid of the Scarlet Crusade. I feel like they're always going to be lurking in some capacity. And now we had another wave of the Scarlet Crusade in the new patch, which I thought was interesting. But honestly, even though we, annihilated them, I really don't trust that. I think that it's just this recurring theme in World of Warcraft that from time to time just kind of turns out to be, the real danger and whatnot. But there are moments after, their, I guess, recurring annihilation when things calm down again, which ultimately, obviously, is a good thing. But I also think that when it comes to the new patch, that they gave us a lot of new lore, and I personally thought that that was great. I thought that the patch story was a little bit short, but for some reason they are coming back to the Scarlet Crusade thing. We'll see in the next patches whether or not they're going to continue with this story, whether there's something more to the Scarlet Crusade that, the story writers and the dev team that they're ready to reveal, and whether we're going to get some sort of continuation of that, or we are done yet again with the Scarlet Crusade for now. What do you think about this video? Do you enjoy the Scarlet Monastery, Scarlet Crusade, and all of this lore? How did you feel about it back in the Lich King when there was a lot of word of Argent Dawn and a lot of other factions who were essentially fighting the Scourge, who kind of played a role in the story? Let me know in the comments. If you're new here on the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and bye-bye.